People think that entrepreneurship is all about the business.
That's not true. Absolutely not true. Once you know yourself, who you are, what do you want, what you already know within yourself, you will definitely be successful. That I guarantee you.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Personal Development for Entrepreneurs. I am Ikram, and with me I have my mentor and great friend, Dr. Venga Kalachulu.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you are good and then you are trying to manage the kind of situation today in terms of cost of food, cost of everything has gone up very high. I know it's not easy. I know it's very, very difficult. And I understand that many of you are struggling through this new thing. Remember that it's not going to go away just like that. It's going to take a while. So what do you need? Number one, you need discipline. If you don't have the discipline, then you are not going to get through this period well. Discipline is about not doing just for the sake of doing. Discipline yourself in everything that you do, whether it's going out to eat or buying food or whatever you do in this economic turmoil. Discipline will save you. Remember, I'm 82 and a half years old. I have been through many, many recessions, including the Second World War, okay? And I have been through where times were very, very difficult. You are bound to get emotional and you're bound to, but please take care. Yes, Ikram, please.
Which leads us, talking about bound to get emotional, which leads us to our topic for this evening. Today we want to talk about how to be less emotional. And as you said, you've been through, the world wars, multiple recessions, the racial crisis that took place in Malaysia in '69. You've seen it all, I would say, during your lifetime, right?
I was caught in between. I was caught in that.
Absolutely.
Yes, May 13. I still remember that again.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question about being, with regards to becoming less emotional, because I think that's something that all of us need today, in this post-pandemic era with the economy, as you mentioned, not as great as it used to be, inflation coming up. We're dealing with multiple things on different fronts. Why do we get emotional, Dr. Venga?
Well, okay. Let me deal with it in two parts. The first part of it is, let's say that the word emotion in the English language was something I learned very much later when I was about 20 years old, 18, 20 years old. Then I learned the word emotion. But prior to that, as I went through the Second World War, and because I had to be on my own, and the man who looked after me was a rickshaw puller, I only understood the way people felt in the Chinese way of thinking. My first language, as you know, is Chinese, Hokkien. You know about that, okay? And by the time during the war, I used to work in a coffee shop, for food. I used to clean plates and all that. And one of the things that I noticed, the only language I spoke and understood was Hokkien. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I see people, even during the Japanese World War, people came and sat in the coffee shop and drank coffee and all that. And people came and talked. And they are always talking and talking and talking. So I normally kept my ears, I have a large ear, right? See, very large ear, right? I kept my ears open, and I used to see them complaining and complaining. And the best part of it, Ikram, the same people will come to the same table and talk about the same thing day after day after day after day, the same thing. I used to know why people talk the same thing over and over again. It was later on in life when I learned to read and write English, and this is emotion. That's what I was coming to. So, as a human being, I realized you must have emotion. But what taught me that people talk about what they are feeling inside them is when I see that animals, animals, when they are seeing one another, they show their emotion by licking one another or fighting with one another, animals. No? Then I also saw in a lot of ways that plants, and trees and all that, no? They just grow, and the way I don't know whether trees had emotions or not. No, all I know is the sun comes up, and then the leaf opens up, and the tree is becoming bigger, and so I felt at that time was young. I begin to see from the age of 4 and until today, I'm 82 years old. I've seen this. People have this emotion, and many of them express it in many forms and all that. So I know you need emotion, because an animal is very different. Does it have emotion? Yes. Against another animal? Yes. But a dog, as an example, can create emotion with you. A cat can create, and you can create that emotion. But say a wild animal, take a tiger as an example, I don't think it has any emotion. As long as the tiger can kill and eat and reproduce, he's a good tiger. Correct or not?
Correct.
Okay, so animals have one line, that is the bottom line, which is birth, and they die. That's the second line they have. In between, eat well, sleep well, and reproduce. 3 things. Humans are totally different. We have the bottom line, but no top line. Why? The moment we are born, okay, in fact, we develop our emotion in our mother's womb. It comes genetically to you. Emotion comes genetically to you. That's why they tell a mother when she's pregnant, hey, you cannot get excited, you mustn't cry, you mustn't show emotion. Your child will, you remember we will talk about it?
Yes. Yeah.
It's scientifically true. So as a human, you must have emotion. But genetically also, you have emotion. Okay? Now, if you do not sleep well enough, you have emotion. If you don't eat well enough, you have emotion. You don't eat the right food, you get emotion.
Which I'd like to ask you, there must be a purpose that emotions serve, right? I mean, all these things that we experience, it can't be for nothing.
Yes.
Why do you think we have emotions? If we can understand that, maybe we could see how to harness that emotion.
Very good. Okay, again, and now I'm going to go back to I'm educated myself and blah, 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 blah. And then I discovered why people get emotion. First of all, I am very interested in the mind. This is a hobby of mine. I started that at the age of 5 or 6 and still continue on. Now, you have a brain, okay? Our brain has got 2 parts. One is the reptilian brain, And on top of the reptilian brain, we have the neurocortex. So let me keep it simple. Let me keep it simple. I can make it very complex. I've learned how to make things simple. If you understand the simple thing, then you can apply it, okay? So what happens? This reptilian brain that you have came from evolution. We came from the soil, you know that, isn't it? We all eat food and all that, we came to that, okay? So what happens, that we have evolved to this stage. But in the evolution of human, the reptilian brain is still there. You know that, isn't it? Reptile.
Yes.
Everybody should know, no? And don't talk stupid things. Reptilian, it's there.
Correct.
So what does this reptilian brain do? Number one, it is always fearful. Protect, fight. That's a reptile. Defend, protect. So whenever you're uncertain, you'll on guard. That's why in yogi, they call it the monkey brain. The monkey brain controls human. You allow the monkey brain to control you. Little bit something wrong, you lose your temper.
Yep.
This is the reptilian part. Because why? Defensive. Automatically, you see something, you get frightened, it stands out. It will try to protect you. That you must understand.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the neurocortex. That neurocortex, 100 years ago and today, it is certainly not the same. It has extension. It analyze, you can see. It got no roof. It's just open space. Like it's always, doing, multiplying things, looking at things, looking at this, looking at that. This is the neurocortex. But that's so complex issue. Just remember one thing. You have a monkey brain, which goes in defensive mode, protective mode all the time. And the other one, which is always looking at, hey, why is it like that? Why is it like that? It's always, let me ask you this, were you ever satisfied in your life, Ikram? Tell me.
No, I mean, even if there was satisfaction, it's just brief periods.
You want a little bit more, little bit more, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But when do you get frightened? When things are not going your way and things are not the way you want it, and then you get agitated.
Correct.
And when you get agitated, automatically the reptilian brain will take over. It'll take over immediately. The brain will take over. Pop. The neurocortex is submerged already. Then defensive, protect. That happens. Okay. So that's why, in the case of animal, they still have the reptile brain. The leeway of imagination, if at all possible, maybe about 5-10%. That's why because no food, you look around and see how you can catch a rat to eat, isn't it?
Yep.
Human, 10% reptilian, 90% can think, can do, your neurocortex. So we're just the opposite of an animal. That's why we are so emotional. So what do we need to do? Only one thing, Only simple thing. Realize that you have activated your reptilian brain. All you got to do, take 2 or 3 minutes, sit down, close your eyes, and say, hey, calm down. Just calm down. Why am I looking at it this way? Calm down, breathe. Breathe. Take in 21% of oxygen, take it in. Breathe out. That's all.
So let's talk about one of the most powerful emotions that can really overwhelm a person and make him do stupid things. Anger.
Yes.
Do you ever get angry, Vinga? And how do you respond to it?
Do I look like someone who can't get angry?
You sure? I've not seen you angry.
Right, exactly. I will not show it to you or show it to anybody else. I will not, because I will not give you that privilege. Of course, I get angry. Of course, I have emotion. But from a young person, because of the life I went through, I managed that. I manage it very, very well. Even if I'm, I have a limit. I'm 82 and a half years old. I have never fought with anybody, physical fight, I've never. Even a verbal fight, never in my life. I will watch it, analyze it and say, okay, this person is not matured yet. Leave him, move away. I have let go of friends also that way. Because if I continue, it will be conflict. You mean I have to disagree? Okay, I don't want to disagree. I give my opinion once, and I see that you are aggressively approaching it. I say, okay, fine, leave it. Some people say, oh, then you're not a friend. Sure, I am not a friend. Thank you, done. Because why? I do not like to deal with any situation when there is negative things. I don't want to handle it. Or when people are aggressive, I don't handle it. I remember a long time ago, a friend of mine took me to an association, an Indian association in Malacca, and wanted me to help them and all that. No, so I did some work and all that. So I wanted to do something for that particular association, all right. And a very matured president of the Teachers Union, okay? When I told them to do certain things in the Indian Association, even in the 1964, 65, they were still very much Chandra Bose and Netaji, they are so very proud. They had pictures. I think it's about 12 feet picture of him in the. I said, why you hang this picture? These are people who are, gone, no? You are in Malaysia. Okay, put the small picture of the Agong, the young Di Pertuan Negeri of Malacca and all that. That fella cried and told me, are you ashamed to be an Indian? So I put my hand like that. I bowed to him and I bowed to my friend. I walked out of the association, period. I never went back again. See, this is the one example. Many a time, I don't like this confrontation. I can never accept it. The best way to get rid of me is to start a confrontation. And in many things, Ikram, more deeper than that, I just walk away. No?
Yeah. So you don't get dragged into situations that would make you angry. But when you do get angry, how do you handle it?
Then I make sure I go for a walk and I verbalize it. And I make it very strong. Why am I feeling that way? How? Why? What does it trigger me? Is it because of your own inability, or is it because of outside what people are telling you? I come to a conclusion very quickly. It is that people are not matured enough to accept it. And therefore, what can you do to change that opinion? The answer is no, you can't. You cannot change people's opinion. They have to change their opinion. That I learned very young I learned. Where did I learn it? Coffee shop. What did I learn? When you put sugar, okay? You put 1 teaspoon. Some people just nice. Another part, too sweet or not sweet. No? So the same tongue. Then I say, hey, so people have different. So I learned, don't put sugar. Take the sugar and let him, and spoon and let him take the sugar. So you take what you want, lah. Even the coffee shop owner said, why do that? So I told him, some people like little sugar, some people no sugar. Don't know. Let them put themselves. And you know what? He saved sugar. Because his method is, after beating, they put the milk and all that, at least 2 to 3 teaspoons of sugar. Okay. So he found me, saving money. But so you know what, Ikram, you can never ever change what people think. Today is a modern word is perception. So if you cannot change people's perception, what should you do?
Walk
Nothing.
away.
Walk away. Nothing you can do, Ikram.
Yeah.
Why go and create issues, no?
Yeah. So what it's clear that you never act upon anger immediately. You always take time to think, right? So you never act on it. That's great. And you say walk away, avoid confrontations.
Yes.
But what if it is a relationship, someone you are in love with, your partner, your spouse, your parents, right?
Absolutely.
Not so easy to walk away, and it becomes amply difficult to manage your emotion, especially with people you love. For some reason, your emotion spikes up a lot more.
Okay, very good question, Ikram. I think all of us are married, we have our spouse, and you know what? This happens all the time. And that is, you know very well when your spouse is angry, he or she have become reptile. You see, I'm dealing with a crocodile, reptile. What should you do? Walk away. Because otherwise the reptile will eat you. So walk away. So I no, okay. I must say that in my years of marriage, yes, there are times when, but I train her. How do I train her? Okay, if you have to say anything to me, if you're not happy, tell me in a soft tone. So the moment you raise your voice, you are telling me you are angry. Are you angry? No. Okay. But I'll find the right time. I will always find the right time and the right occasion to bring it up at the time when she is able to absorb. Like that, I also, when I get angry with something, I'll just walk away, come upstairs, sit down and do work or read some book or do something. Then she knows I am not happy with certain things. I manage it. I manage it because you just cannot go and put your hand into a crocodile's mouth and say, hey, bite me and see whether it's painful or not. You want that?
No.
This is the problem with us, like Ikram. When we see our spouse getting angry, we also get angry. So when two reptiles fight, what will happen?
Problems take place.
Because your rational thinking is no more there. You are acting on instinct, the animal instinct, the monkey brain, defend, protect. So we must understand this very simple thing. I have an animal brain, I have a human brain. They are together. The human brain must be managed. The reptilian brain cannot be managed. You must calm it down, calm it down, calm it down. See, people say when you're angry, make sure that you don't just say it. Okay, don't react. Okay, respond. Whichever way you can use all the terms, nice term and all that, it'll come out, the crocodile will bite you. No? even though you are right.
Mm-hmm.
You see, many a time I've seen people, say about middle-aged people, husband sees a nice girl, nice looking girl, looks at it, you can see the wife, elbow the fellow. I'm by your side, what the hell you're looking there, no? You can see that, okay? You can't prevent it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's how do you deal with people who have not developed their neurocortex or managed their neurocortex, but is still in the reptile stage. How?
That's a good question. How?
Yeah, how do you do that? Okay, number one, understand that you cannot do anything when people are angry. You cannot do anything. You must control yourself. The one that you must learn is, I need to control myself. Every time, Ikram, whatever happens, because we are human, and because when we are human, actually, Ikram, if you Google it, they will tell you, why do you get emotion? There are maybe 30, 40 things, reason why you will get emotion. It could be something new has happened, something you buy a new computer, whatever, and sometimes you can't understand this, you get angry, yes or not?
Correct. Yes.
Software problem and all that.
Yep.
That also is anger. Why? You stupid donkey, read the manual. No, we don't read the manual. We want answer. Because what? I've done it before like that. We go back to bad habits. Instead of, hey, there must be a way, what? Instead of looking for answer, we look for trouble. We want quick answer. That's also why our emotion shoots up.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Or you're just doing some work, your spouse come and say, hey, let's go to the market now. You tell them, why didn't you tell me that yesterday? Enough lah. Why didn't you tell me that yesterday? Then a war will start lah. Correct or not?
Yep.
So what must you do? Get the opportunity next day. Hey, are we going to market tomorrow? No. Okay. If you want to go to market, tell me in advance. I'll plan for it. Yeah, so it's a question of taking some time off. Hey, you married her, your spouse, or anybody. Look at, we married. You, for some reason, you were attracted to her, aside from the fact that the natural animal instinct, you get attracted to somebody. But there was inside that person something else also attracted you. Except for one thing, most people don't sit down. Hey, why am I attracted to her? Why? Mm-hmm. If you just sit down and write down, you will have the answer there. Yes. So there are something good. So because when you live together, you have to make adjustment.
Yep.
And that adjustment problem is that when two people get married, they come at the same self-esteem. Okay? Now, Ikram, what happens? As time goes on, one party self-esteem will increase. The other self-esteem will remain the same. Can you see the danger or not?
Yeah.
Can you see the danger or not?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one, must come down. Bring down the self-esteem and deal with this and slowly grow together. That's why in every Indian wedding, the entire ritual is about that. You must learn from your husband, you must learn from your wife, you must learn this and you must learn that. And then there's ceremony, you bow down, put one ring on her toe and she will put another ring on your toe. They will give you all sorts of things, to symbolic to explain to you how should marriage work. It's a whole ritual, 1 hour and 30 minutes or something like that. Not like the Western world. I pronounce you wife and husband. Done. Kiss your bride. They teach you, but the problem is they don't explain that in a way that both male and female understand this. There is literatures for that. But it so sounds bloody authentic, if you mumble and mumbo jumbo some words which nobody understands, you think you are a big guru or some shit like that. Sorry, but explain it in a simple way. I know how to explain that in a simple way. So the most important thing, not only your spouse, even your children, they say things which is very strong, Okay, you must smile. Have you ever seen me getting angry?
No.
No matter what had happened to me. Have you ever seen me being angry?
No.
No, you never. You never will. Because I will not give you that privilege. But then I've learned it from young, coming up. From young, I have this incredible ability to make people, when they're very angry, okay? So what is the problem? If you think I'm the one who made the mistake, tell me, I'll accept it. If you think, okay, I accept it, done. Then I'll wait for my opportunity. When the right time comes and the right place, everything happens, I will remind that person in a very polite way. For him to have reacted that way, he was at that moment not thinking properly. But I won't say like that. I won't use word like that. I will tell stories. I'll tell stories. It happened to me a couple of months ago too. One of my brothers came, one of my stepbrothers came. He had a lot of complaint about the other brothers and all the rest of it. And, he was saying to me, if you don't want to do anything about it, I'll go away now. I sit down, talk to me, tell me why you think that way, why? Then he had lunch, and after lunch he left. See, it happens to me too. But he says you must go to school, read 25 books, no need. Simple. Just remember that you have this reptile brain and the neurocortex. The powerful one is the human brain, the neurocortex. You know that, okay? The reptilian fellow is trying to protect you. That's why immediately when you get angry, you will find that your heart rate is going higher. Yes or not?
Yep. Yes.
Why? Why is it going higher? It's going higher because below you have a kidney, on top of that got the neurocortex. They have some, the fellow will trigger. Adrenaline will flow to the kidney will go directly to the heart, trigger the adrenaline, and then make the heart pump more blood.
Now, when you fight or flight response.
Sorry?
That's when the body is getting ready for the fight or flight response.
So the brain all no, choke, stop already, everything stop already. Fight. Give you a realistic example. You know the Ukraine war?
Yes.
It's because of that. Because the Americans have made a mistake. Now they don't know how to say, I'm the one who made the mistake. They blame everything on Putin. The whole world is against them now. So now they're starting a new war. It is white against everybody else. White people against the rest of the world. There is a thing I listened to yesterday from Citizen. I sent you the videotape after that, afterward. Australia. They're telling again and again, why this stupid race war between the whites and Australian fellow talking, Australian, one of these political group, they're saying, why are you all doing this? You are creating it. Why? So you see, emotion. Don't think the politicians are not doing this. When you get emotional, you forget why you're doing it. Mm-hmm. Have you not seen that in our country too?
Yeah.
From our previous people who ruled this government and all that. Yep. Emotional, isn't it?
Let's move on to my last question for you, Dr. Venga. We've spoken about dealing with people, right? Emotions. Sometimes it's we get emotional beyond just people. In your case, right? Just going into a specific example, you from a young age you were separated from your biological parents.
That's right.
It wasn't because someone did it; it's just circumstances that led to that happening.
Yes.
The Japanese occupation of Singapore at the time.
Yeah.
Do you ever get frustrated with the hand that life dealt you during that time? I mean, a lot of people are going through this. It's through no fault of any person. It's just like life is handing you these deals, that you just have to accept. And sometimes it's frustrating. How did you manage this, and how did you feel when you were going through this, separation and poverty and all these other things?
There were times when I used to think, why am I so different? I was a young boy, why the difference? So one of the things, as a young boy, I realized this, is that if I don't get out of this, I would be stuck there. As a young boy, of course, I was very, how come? That's why, sorry, Ikram. I used to ask myself, is there really a thing called God? I begin to question that. If there is a God, how come I'm in this situation? And then, of course, the clever people were telling me, this is God's way of trying to tell you how you must grow up and all that. So have you experienced it yourself? What? Have you experienced what I'm going through yourself? He said, no, but in the Bible. Stop. You have not experienced it, right? You don't know what I feel, right? Yes. Okay. Thank you. I was very abrupt, already very young,
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt that people were telling me things, like the coffee shop fellas are sitting there talking the same thing over and over and not getting anywhere. Hey, by the way, Ikram, have you ever been to a tea shop?
Yes.
Not the mama coffee shop, the stall. They have a tea in those days. I don't know whether you've been one drinking tea.
No, not been.
Never. I have. I'm telling you, the man who makes the tea. In Singapore, we had plenty of this little stall, They make tea and all that. Wow, the fella can talk to you about international politics, about war and all that. The only thing he doesn't know how to do is to make a good tea. Right or not?
Yeah.
Then it graduated. People sit in the bar, drink a lot of alcohol and all that, and talk a lot of rubbish, right?
Yeah.
You see, we graduated from the tea shop to the bar, drinking and talk rubbish. Same thing over again. So what does that mean? People talk, okay? And so you see, this I learned very early in life. Have you experienced it? No, then don't talk about it. That's what I never ever share anything with people if I have not experienced it myself. Which I'm talking concept, not content, concept. Because I don't have the experience. Ikram, only if you have not eaten food for 1 week, you know what is the meaning of being hungry, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that's why all religion teaches you to fast, to make you feel the hunger of other people. You are doing it on purpose, the feeling of hunger. Whereas there are millions of children who cannot eat because they don't have food. They are feeling hunger. Only when you experience it, then only you know lah. Okay? You see me sometimes beating myself, I beat my head, slap myself, You know why?
No.
Because sometimes some stupid thought comes into me, I knock some sense into it, no? Because you don't have the experience. Don't form conclusion. So what happens, Ikram? I learned at a very young age, unless you have experience, you don't know what you're talking about. So don't talk. Don't open your mouth when you have not experienced it. That is my philosophy in life. And let's say that philosophy is bullshit, okay? Let's say that's my life. If I have not experienced it myself, how can I explain something to you and talk to you from a book? No point. So emotion is like that, okay? Have you yourself experienced it? Yes. What was the outcome? Why did you take that action? So that's why the three concepts, the right, the goal, and then the review. This review, I do that every day, including now, over and over again. Let me give you a very quick example of emotion. One of the reasons why people fail in not achieving their goals, you know why not, Ikram?
No review.
Well, that's the second thing. The first thing is when they write the goal, they don't attach emotion to what they want. If you want it so badly, you want it, really want it, okay? And you are experiencing it, then you will get it. The entire energy will drive you to get it. Yes, sir. You are not emotionally involved in the goals that you set up to achieve. Okay? Now, the review must be done consistently to improve the goal, to look at it better.
Yep.
See, so emotion is something human will have and must have. If you have no emotion, then you are not a human, you are an animal or a tree. But they say even tree got emotion, they say animals got emotion, but small amount. And the tree, they explain the roots, how the root will grow faster to look for where is the food, where is the water. He said, how does that happen? They said it's a tree emotion for survival goes there. And in the case of animal, it has emotion. The the reproduction is not emotion, but they also have. So that's why you find them growling or being harsh because they don't want to be disturbed. So that is the part. So in my case, I learned to manage that from a very, very young age. Can you also learn to do that? Of course you can. Of course you can. So long as you can differentiate the two, which is, why are you getting emotionally upset with this event? Why? When you sit down and write out the why, you will see all of those are not tangible. It's not your experience. You're picked up from books and film, and that's why movies sell, no? But you try to sell meditation, you try to sell, you'll win or not? Cannot. Because it's a bloody hard thing to do. Going to movie, yeah? Watch a television program, no? But emotion is everywhere in a human. The way your neighbor look at you and walk away, you get emotional. Yes or not?
Yes.
But why? But why?
Illusion inside the head.
See, the thing is this, recognize that we have this emotion. Okay, recognize it. We all have emotion. When people are talking, okay, giving an opinion, you have a different opinion, you get emotion. But instead of looking at what you think, hey, listen to the fella until he's finished talking, then don't react. Take it down and say, hey, is this true or not? Is this true or not? As simple as that, right?
Yes.
And usually it's not true. It is usually hearsay. Correct or not?
Correct.
But why? Why, Ikram? Why? Why? Because why? As a human, we jump to conclusion too quickly, Ikram. We never understand that the other human being, his or her emotion is not, it's too much, no? And you know, the closer you are to somebody, the more emotional you become. Am I correct or not?
Yes.
Why? Why? Yeah? Why?
Is it because of an attachment to the other person?
Yes, that's right. You take for granted. I can tell Ikram, no? You're talking rubbish, no? I can tell, no? Because Ikram's a friend of mine, no? He'll understand me. I'm not careful. My sound that comes out of my mouth is not careful. Check it, lah. Tell the fella I don't do this, no? Because it is between this our ability, our neurocortex. We're not managing it well, Ikram.
Dr. Inga, we've exceeded our available time. So would you like to wrap up in a few words, just to tell our audience, you know, we've gone through a lot of different scenarios and all, but in a simple way, how do you become less emotional?
Okay. First of all, the first thing that you must understand, you are getting emotional because you have no answer. You don't know how to do it. It's just that you don't know. And that's why you get emotional. Simple. While being stupid, you don't want to be stupid. You want to show how clever you are. That's emotional. You get emotional because you don't know what to do with it. You don't understand what we are saying, and therefore you react. All of it, you're doing it because yourself. You are not matured yet, period. You get emotional because you don't know how to handle it. You don't know what to do. Or worst of all, you don't even understand what the thing is all about. And therefore, you get emotional. So actually, getting emotional is stupidity. Very stupid. You're not a human. If you're a human, you will realize you have emotion, you don't know how to contain it. As a passing thing, no? Please, I think I'll encourage all of you to buy this book called Bhagavad Gita. Okay? And another book called The Perennial Psychology of Bhagavad Gita. Okay? The first one, anybody can write it. The second one is by Swami Rama. It talks about human psychology in such great depth. It is great depth. You understand. If you read the Bhagavad Gita, you will understand the entire drama. Okay? The entire drama is roughly about an hour and a half, That's all. That episode. It is happening in a war on a short 1.5 hour, about 90 minutes, no? The whole book is about that, okay? And you can understand the psychology of human, why the war, why they are fighting, what is everything in that. You understand human psychology. And Ikram, it was written some 10,000 years ago, or 7,000 years, or 7,000 years ago. No? How come human psychology is in that book? No? I have never read such in-depth thing about psychology except that book. It is so great. So again, the Western world came out with this world called emotional intelligence. They added the word intelligence to emotion, but they don't know how to explain it. So I explained that emotional intelligence. Permit me, because the white people, they realize that this emotion got to be managed. So they introduced the word emotional intelligence. You must become intelligent in your emotion. If you look at your emotion intelligently, you will come out of it very well. So emotional intelligence. When you get emotion, become intelligent. They don't know how to explain it, but I'm explaining to you. Emotion, you must look upon it intellectually. Intellectually, not intellect. Intelligently look at your emotion. Emotional intelligence. Look at your emotion intelligently, and you realize you are the fool.
Thank you very much, Dr. Venga. That's all the time we have. We have to wrap up. I hope this has been a productive session for our audience. And there's, for me, there was a lot of take homes on managing my emotions, becoming less emotional in various aspects of life. Our next personal development for entrepreneurs is happening on August 3rd. It's the first Wednesday of the month, as usual, and at 8 p.m. Thank you very much for being with us here tonight. Hari Raya Haji is happening in
That's right.
a few days. So, Selamat Hari Raya Haji to all our Muslim viewers.
Okay. Good night.